Yo, what's the deal? It's your player partner Bobby WAJ, aka Bobby AA Jones, and I got a question. I want to know, how did we get to this part of the game to where family relationships and connections is no longer useful or effective in mitigating, hostile situations and conflicts amongst us. So it has no meaning to it that my brother used to date your sister, or my sister and your sister at one point in time was best friends, or I slept over your grandmama house and you didn't ate over my auntie house, and we didn't have to back fight at the metro, and we didn't have it at one point in time the same oppositions. None of that matters, right? Why is it when we get into conflict with one another, we can't reflect on the good times that we had? I just had a conversation with one of my player partners via Instagram, and I let him know, hey, look, man, check this out, because he said he wanted to holler him. I say, look, man, check this out. Man, you my partner. I love you. We don't speak as frequently as we should, but I can never forget those times, homie, when we used to share Nintendo games. You know what I mean? We used to borrow and loan out each other games. Mike Tyson Punch Out, Mario, and Zelda, and Ninja Gaiden, and all this type of shit. When we used to jump in your mama waterbed and all that, you feel what I'm saying? So, being that we have that shared history, how could I ever see myself opposing you to the point to where I want to unalive you? That makes no sense. It's a boring DMX song. Here we go again. Same old shit, dog. Just a different day. But DMX says something to the point or the effect where he says, I hit him with a grand, just didn't shake his hand. Not all situations and not all transgressions should be rooted in us unaliving one another. Prime example. I had a situation in Pure housing projects to where something had transpired and it wasn't pleasing to me. You know what I mean? I didn't like the way that it went, because the way that the situation had went, it was almost as if the guys who were the perpetrators didn't care about the connection that we have under the fabric of under being woven to the same fabric of being from PJ Wash Crib. You feel what I'm saying? So, after that transgression, I remember telling, one of the big homies, I won't name him, man, this is how I feel. But the reason why I didn't engage him like this is because of who this individual daddy is. And my kin folks had to wake me up to the fact that everything has changed. And he said, homie, you can't be out here like that, because a motherfucker ain't gonna give a fuck about who your daddy is. And that was revolutionary to me, because I feel like I grew up under some good stock of what it is to be a PJ. And when we talk about the meaning and the definition and what it is to be an honorable PJ, we don't unalive one another. We don't undermine nor undervalue or underappreciate the connections that we have with other families. I can never see myself going against the Wilson family or going against the Kennedy family and all those other families that my family go back with. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it should never, ever, ever be a situation to where we're plotting on and strategizing and thinking about unaliving one another, when we can utilize those family connections to come to any type of resolve to mitigate any type of conflict or complications that we may have with one another. So my thing is this: how did we get to the point to where we don't honor the love and the connections that we used to have by being family? For those of you who know, PJ Watts ain't never been a gang. We always been family orientated. But when we took on the mind state, when we took on the mind frame of being a gang, it created internal turmoil, conflict, and division amongst us. So my thing is this, man: how do we get to this point to where family relationships and connections is ineffective in mitigating situations and conflicts amongst us? Why is it that we can have a situation and the first thing spectators and onlookers do is tell a homie, man, I got the pistol if you need it? It should never be that. Quick example. I had got wind that two of my influential homies was beefing. So when I heard this, I say, this dude is this type of caliber of a dude, and this dude is this type of caliber of a dude. So I'm gonna ask these cats, can I mediate? Can I be the in-between to try to get y'all to resolve this without unaliving one another? Because anybody that knows these two cats knows that these dudes will resort to that level of engagement. Anytime there's conflict amongst my righteous homies, man, the first thing that I want to do is step in between and see if I can offer my mediation services. You feel what I'm saying? Not services, but as homies, that's mandatory. You should never catch wind that two homies is beefing, and the first thing that you want to do is engage it to the point to where you want to supply one of the homies for a pistol for another one of the homies. That makes no sense, and that's asinine. And that goes against what we were taught, the way that we were brought up under being family. We one big dysfunctional family. But just because we are a dysfunctional family, that don't mean that we should be unaliving one another. That don't mean that we should have intentions of degrading and emasculating and utterly fucking each other over. It's not right. It's not cool. And we need to address, how did we get to this point to where we don't honor family relationships? So, you know what I mean? Once again, it's your player partner, Bobby WAJ. Then y'all step and be blessed.